Hello and welcome or welcome back. If this is your first time here, my name is Christina. I own my small business Made With Monday where I sell stickers, bookmarks, magnetic bookmarks, and coming soon so much more. This video is going to be a little bit different. I'm actually going to be doing a 2024 recap, but also setting my goals for 2025 and really want to make this usable for you to set your small business goals if you are starting a small business, if you have a small business and just want a baseline to set your goals. And let's just jump into it. Typically each week I take you behind the scenes of what it looks like running my small business. But again, like I said, this week we're going to be looking at 2024, how that went, and then what 2025 is looking like, and goals and new things I have in store. We missed a vlog last week, and that was because my kids got sick, I got sick, and it was the craziness of like preparing for Christmas and getting the boys therapists and teachers and all those gifts organized. I was so behind on everything. I really misjudged this holiday season and how much time I would have. I had started to film and then I was like, you can hear it in my voice each day getting sicker and sicker. And I was like, you know what, we're done. Not gonna film last week. And that's just how it kind of went. And this is the week of Christmas, so this is actually the Friday after Christmas, so like Christmas has died down. I wanted to start filming this sooner and get a few days in, but I decided we're just gonna do a recap video, which is something I really wanted to do, and just show the growth and go over those goals that I had set in 2024 and kind of plan new goals for 2025, but really making that follow along for you guys to see how I break it down that could relate to you, and maybe you can learn some things that I learned along the way too. This video is definitely going to be different than what I've done in the past, but I really just wanted to break down these goals and share those things because it's been really fun to reflect on, and doing this has like really helped. And setting goals for 2025, I am now like more guided in my vision because of these goals and what I want it to look like, which I think is really helpful. Instead of saying I want to do so many orders, how are you going to do that? What does that look like each month or each quarter, things like that. We're gonna go over the business goals that I set for 2025 and how I broke that down over the year and then each quarter, and then also reflecting on my 2024 goals and kind of where that ended up and what my plans are in general. But I thought that this would just be really helpful if you're a new business or thinking about starting a business. Just really setting these goals really helped like clear me and like what I wanted from it. To start, we'll start with my 2024 goals. I wrote these at the end of 2023 when we had decided to open up our business, which will be a year old on January 15th was our first order for several orders, but it was, that is our big day, 1 year, which is crazy. We're almost there. My goal, my year goal was social media did not do well. So I'll start with that. When I set these goals, I really set them pretty high. So my goal for Facebook was 500 people on Facebook, followers, and it was 500. That was my goal. We're at 90. Definitely was out of my scope, and that is something I want to continue to work on. Social media, I've talked about it several times on here. It is something that I do not feel is my strong suit, and it's definitely something that I have to be very conscious of and consistent with. My Instagram goal was 750. We're at 136. Definitely have some room for growth there. My TikTok goal is 400. We're at 111. My email subscribers, which is something that I have not worked on, and I don't have it set up. That is one of my goals for this year, but it was supposed to be 250 email subscribers. Some of these are like kind of outrageous now that I like look back. I'm like, how did I think that was going to happen? But we have 39. Not terrible actually, but my Etsy views, I had set a goal. So when you log into your Etsy account, it says like views, visits, and orders, I think. It says views, orders, and visits. So my views goal for an entire year was 1,000. We surpassed that. We were not even the end of the year yet, but we're at 20,900. That's great. My sales goal for Etsy was 150 for the year. We are at 987, so 13 away from 1,000. We passed that. I had a goal to have 75 listings up on Etsy, and we have 813 listings on Etsy. And then my goal was to have $1,000 in sales. We had passed that. That's wonderful. You can see here, I exceeded my expectations in orders and sales. But those were my first year like goals. And I thought that those for orders and sales and that were really realistic. They were nothing crazy, but that's what I would have been really happy with in just our first year of business, because I know that it takes a while for this to start up. So the fact that we passed that, all those made me very happy. The social media I can work on. And I had not YouTube was like a twinkle in my eye at that point. I had thought about it, but I didn't even set that as a goal. We'll kind of then go through my business goals for 2025. I've broken them down into 3 categories, which is social media, financial goals, and growth goals. So social media, my goal for Facebook is 200. That would be just doubling what I have now. I would be very happy with, because I feel going through social media has been like walking through mud sometimes. So that's my goal there. On Instagram, it's to pretty much double that as well. So at 300 followers on Instagram, my email subscribers, I would like 100 by the end of the year of 2025. So again, doubling it a little bit extra, doubling it. And then YouTube, I'm trying to 3 times what we're at right now. So I'm at 612 subscribers, and I'm trying to get to 2,000 by the end of the year. So that is definitely a bigger goal, but I feel I have more confidence in that goal because my plans to do things on YouTube, I feel we can make that happen. And just kind of like actually going into my plans with YouTube, I do plan to continue to do weekly studio vlogs. And if there's anything you guys want to see in those, definitely let me know. But I kind of want to have and I guess I'll get your guys' input because I don't know what would be best. Part of me is like, maybe I should have a weekly studio vlog, but there be some sort of theme behind it. So whether it be like how I create my shipping stuff through Canva, or where I order supplies, or how I make stickers, like more thorough tutorials embedded into my studio vlogs each week, even though it's a studio vlog, but then it could be like, and we're working on Canva or something like that. Or doing separate videos, which I feel like may just make it a little bit cleaner, of like, hey, this is how we do shipping stuff. Hey, this is how I make stickers. This is how I make bookmarks, and so forth and so on. But that way you can just like reference that smaller bit instead of watching a whole vlog. Now that I kind of chalked that out, I think that's probably the better idea, but I'm open to suggestions or feedback on that. But I definitely want to liven up the studio vlogs a little bit. I feel like sometimes it is the same every week, and so I really want to make those more interesting and just showing even more. But again, if there's something that you'd like to see that I don't touch on, or I like glaze over, that you're like, wait, can you tell me more? I'm like totally into doing that as well. But I love this community, and when we were out last week, everyone's outpour and support and messages and comments meant so much to me, honestly, because it was hard and I honestly missed not sharing. It's like I almost took 2 weeks off and it felt weird and I missed it. I felt like a lot happened. I had like reorganized the craft room, and I'm like, but I'm not showing them. But I think that it's definitely something I've really enjoyed, was, you know, making these videos and sharing the story and sharing that behind the scenes of what it looks like running the small business this small. Because I've mentioned before, I saw so many others YouTube videos. I was like, man, I would love to be there, right? Like how they're like selling out, they're having these huge launches, and I'm like, that's amazing. But like, that's not what my days look like. That is not what it looks like when you're first starting out. And so I was like, let's just start a vlog, see what happens. And if this business doesn't do well, it's okay. You know, I'm just gonna share it and see how it goes, and goes from there. Those are some of my YouTube things that I wanna bring to the table, and just like things that I want to bring out more of. And my financial goals, so we want to do 50,000 views total on Etsy next year, just in 2025 alone. And then sales, get the number up to 3,000 total. So that would be just doubling this year's. So we're close to 1,000 this year. So to get up to 3,000 total in sales, because sales, you can't really do it by year, to be at 3,000 by the end of 2025. But I want to have 75 awareness varieties available in our shop. We are currently at 39. I have like a list of 10 or 15 that I'm like that's on my to-do list. So if you have any awarenesses you would like to see in my shop, please let me know. But my goal is 75. So definitely think that's doable. And then having 1,500 total listings is my other goal. So it's gonna be a busy year. Shopify. So Shopify, I'm gonna be very transparent with you. Shopify has not been my main focus at all this year. At first, I didn't know where I was trying to send people. Was I sending them to Shopify? Was I sending them to Etsy? And I kind of was like mixing it and all over the place. And then halfway through, I decided to stop and just focus on Etsy. And my reasoning behind that was or my theory is when someone purchased something new from Etsy, Etsy goes, okay, great. Like we're gonna show this one a little bit more because people are buying it. And so if people are buying those items, it then shows it to other people. So my main goal was to gain traction on Etsy and have that algorithm going and all those things. And I think that helped. But my Shopify total orders is at 31. I typically do customs through there or wholesale orders, things like that through Shopify. And then there have been some people I know from like YouTube that have purchased from there. So thank you. And things like that. So I have been getting orders through Shopify still, but it hasn't been a huge push. So this year my goal is 100 orders on Shopify. We started our Shopify store, I want to say in March or April. So we have had it a little bit longer, but the main reason we did it was to have a fallback in case something happened on Etsy, because I'm sure as many of you have heard like horror stories of their shops just getting shut down. And although I'm very conscious and aware of copyright, trademarks, and all those things, you just don't know what's gonna happen. I wanted to ensure I always had another place lined up. If Etsy did go down, we would not lose momentum or as strong a momentum. My goal is 2,000 orders total. That's amongst Shopify, Etsy, and any other platform I do. That's what this running number is. So we're closing in on 800. It's kind of a lofty goal, but I'm here for it. Those are financial goals. And then I did set an income goal, which I'll keep that private because I don't know, sometimes I get weird talking about money, but these other numbers I'm more comfortable with. But Jacob's home too, so if you hear him at all, he's home on break. My growth goals were to join 2 other platforms for selling. I've talked briefly, I've looked into Michael's Marketplace. I do want to get into Faire, and I'm not sure exactly which 2 I'm for sure looking at, but I know there's definitely other options out there, so I am looking into different avenues. Currently, we're on Etsy, TikTok Shop, and Shopify, our own website. I also want to come up with 2 more product lines. I have a handful more of ideas, but I'm setting it as just 2 for now because I do feel sometimes I will start something and then just not love how it turned out. So I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about because these are definitely products I probably will revisit, but it's just like held me up. I had made magnets, which are very durable and I really liked them. But if you can see on the edges there, they are jagged and they are like more raised. And what happens is any cutting machine, it's a lot of layers to cut through and then it frays up. You have to get the pressure and all those things just right to not have that effect, but it just doesn't look good to me. I think it just looks really not well made, so I don't love it. It looks better on bigger stickers, but I wanted sticker sizes like this and I just wasn't loving them, especially for the intricate details. It just was not hitting for me. That is something I'm still working on behind the scenes, but I haven't fully invested too much time, so this is a potential product option. Another one is my punch needle, which this coaster turned out really cute. I love the square and the bow. This is another awareness one, which I like, and I like how the ribbon is. And these ones I'm not a huge fan of. Like I have to fix some of these things, but I did a shamrock. It's not perfect. I did this heart too, but I don't like it. I did an apple as well, which actually didn't turn out too bad. I have to take a lint roller to them, but I just finished these yesterday. So those were kind of like my little Christmas things I was working on. But punch needling is another product line that I've talked about, and there's a few other ones I've had in here thinking about, so potentially more to come for sure. The other focuses, kind of just going along with not just product lines, but things I want to adjust within the shop are, I want to add ribbons again to all my bookmarks because I really miss them and thought that they looked better with ribbons. So I'm going to add all those as options. You don't have to purchase it that way, but if you would like to, that will be available. And there's chiffon ribbons, which I think are just really great. Instead of just tassels, they're really nice ribbons. And then I'm going to update all my apparel to include long sleeve and sweatshirts. So a lot of my apparel are just t-shirts, but I'm going to update them to at least include long sleeve, if not sweatshirts as well. And then I want to really build our magnetic bookmark collection as well. So I have, I think five in the magnetic bookmarks, but I love them. And I want to really continue to build on those. So that is gonna be another focus as well. Yeah, so that's where that stuff is. And then my other growth goal is to work on email marketing, to have emails going out at least twice a month, sharing our new products, sharing any sales, things like that, and just really growing our email listing as well. All these number goals I have like broken them down into each quarter on what I would need to hit to keep on target. So just to like give an example, like how I mentioned my listings, I want to have 75 total awarenesses by the end of the year. We are currently at 39. That means we'd have to list out 9 awarenesses every quarter, which is basically 3 new awarenesses every month. So when you break it down by quarter and then you break it down by month, that's really not that bad. 3 new awarenesses a month, I can do that. That's not a problem. And same thing goes for the listings. So I want to hit 1,500 total listings. We're at 813 right now. That means that every quarter I have to hit 172 listings, but every month I need 57, 58. So it's kind of high, but I think it's doable because the listings could be apparel, it could be magnetic bookmarks, it doesn't just have to be stickers. It really could be just a whole bunch of different products. I've tried groupings of listings too, so where I do all my muscular dystrophy awareness stickers are in a grouping, but then I also sell them individually on different listings. I just test those markets to see which one does better. So I've done things like that before, which I could definitely do that again to get that listing number up if I wanted to. So there's definitely a few different options available. And then I had really set out, okay, I need to be on one more platform by March 31st. I need to be on my second platform by September 30th. Like I need to have email marketing, something happening by June 30th. Just kind of like doing things that way, I think is really helpful too. And yeah, so that's a look at my business goals for 2025. Those are really just some of the things that I really want to focus on. I also want to have more organized launches, and that's what I got. This big I hadn't opened it yet. I was thinking about putting it on my desk, but I might even hang it up. But I got a big calendar, so that way, here, got it on Amazon. With this, I'm going to go ahead and put the launch date, and that way I can start planning ahead. So for example, I really liked how I launched Christmas this year, and I want to do that again next year, which was November 1st, and just thought that that was a really good transition. So November 1st is a Saturday this year, so that means maybe in September I'm starting to work on my holiday stuff. So that way it's design created, photos taken, you know, the launch prep is happening, all that before November 1st, because I do feel like I've mentioned before that everything was just really rushed and it was a lot at once and things like that. So I'm going to do like a fall launch. I might do a separate Halloween launch or put those together. I do want to do a spring launch because there's a lot of magnetic bookmark ideas that I have that are definitely more spring, so I think launching those in spring would be great. And then having a summer launch, and really just trying to decide what launches I want to do, and then also writing them very clear here so I can start to have a really ahead of the game plan. The nice thing too is I have all the designs that I created from last year, can do that again. I didn't do spring launches last year. I didn't do a lot of those things, but now I feel I have more bandwidth to do it, and I'm really excited about that. Other thing that I want to mention too, when you are setting your goals or thinking about goals, is to really just look at your stuff. Look at your previous years. Do not compare your goals to my goals or anyone else's goals, because you really are just competing with yourself. And that's kind of what I remind myself all the time, is that especially going into year 2, I want to make sure that I am focusing on what I did the prior year and not maybe what someone else's year 2 looked like or anything else. Because I do think that there are overnight successes in small businesses, and that's wonderful. And I'm really happy for them. I have worked really hard to get to where we are today and continue to work really hard. And I think that that's why competing with myself is what I need to do. And especially still now, I'm not at a point where I'm like, man, I don't know if I could do better the next year. I know I can, right? From last year, because our shop opened in January, but we really didn't have consistent sales until about July. So just reminding myself of that too. And there is something I want to show you guys, which this is something that I strongly suggest, not only like getting a calendar planned out your year, and also setting your business goals, but this has been the best thing for me. So I started keeping track in January. So January 15th was our first day, and we received 3 orders. Then 2 orders, 1. Very slow start, guys. Like this is me being very honest. February, I had 5 orders. 5 days with orders. And just like reflecting back, me and Adam like looked through it, like March started to pick up. Things started to happen. Same thing with April. So it just keeps going like this, and I just wanted to share this because I think it's like so important. And like May, I get to see more orders. Same thing with June. Like June went really well. June was a great month. And then July, we hit sales every day but July 2nd. And that is what it became. So it's just really important to look at those things, and this really helped me see like the bigger picture. And yeah, like September was a good month too, and we started to see more like 5, 6 order days, and still had a couple zeros, a 1 in there, in October. November was pretty good. We still had a couple 0 days in November. So it's like, we haven't had a 0 day yet in December, but like we had some of our highest days, 11, 12, 14, 15, so it's like important to look at, reflect at, but that has been one of the biggest things that I've looked at and go, wow, we are doing better than last month. Like it is visible. You can see it by having those numbers on your calendar. So that is definitely one thing besides like setting the goals and doing the calendar, making your plans, but also buying a calendar or printing it out and just marking down every day how many orders you get, because that really just helps you see your growth. Those are my biggest suggestions for running your small business. That's just a view of what I want my goals to be for 2025, what 2024 brought us, and I'm honestly so grateful for this year. It has been more than I anticipated. I think I've talked about it before, was when we started the Etsy shop, the hope was that it would probably be to where it is today when Ben went to kindergarten, and Ben is 2. So he turned 2 in October. So this was definitely ahead of what I had thought, and I'm very grateful though, and we are just going with it, and it's been working out great. It's been pretty incredible, and I love doing it. But for other business owners out there, I would definitely suggest making some goals and then seeing what happens. I don't think like my social media goals, as you saw, were very stretch. I had no idea what I was just guessing, right? I had no idea what I was doing when I made those goals. And that's okay because it's your first year. So you have no idea. You don't know what to expect. But now that I have 1 year under my belt, I feel like my year 2 goals are pretty obtainable. I don't think that anything is like too far of a stretch. We're gonna see what happens and see what 2025 brings us. And I'm excited to continue to make new stickers and new ideas and just see where this year takes us. So if you have any questions on how I did this or any of those things, definitely let me know and I'd be happy to help you or answer any questions you may have. But that is where I'm gonna leave this video for this week, and I will be back next week with a full studio vlog and so much more. So I'll see you on Monday.